this video, we're going to talk about how you'd bunch small brassicas, such things as turnips and radishes. We didn't have radishes today, so we're going to just work with turnips. So normally what we're looking at is just going through the bed and taking all the exact same size radishes or turnips. So you can see here, these are perfect. These are really nice. You might want to remove some of these yellower leaves at the bottom and then just kind of go down through that and just pull your radishes until you got the size bunch you're looking for. And again, every farm is going to be a little bit different. We're also looking for damage. So these are really clean. There's just a little bit of damage there, a little bit of damage there. So I'm more than happy to go ahead and just bunch it as it is. So here's some damage right here. You can see just probably a root maggot or something like that. It's gotten into that. So just go until we get enough in the bunch. Cleaning off trunk and then taking our rubber bands and just going around that bunch there. So after we bunch the radishes or turnips, we can go ahead and either put them right in a bin. If you have a bin right here, sometimes it's hard if you have a bed on either side to fit this down the row. So normally what we'll do is we'll just set our bunches right in the path and then just keep working down and try to leave them in bunches of 5 or something like that. So just have a system on the farm that they always get left in sections of 5, and then one person will just walk down the row carrying your bin and then just sticking them in there. The other thing to think about is how you put them in the bin. So with these are relatively short. Sometimes they get really tall and you wouldn't want to stack them in the bin like this. You just want to lay them down. If you do, you can. They're short enough and stack them in. I like to stack them all facing one direction, and then that way, when I'm in the pack house, I can take the entire bin and flip it and get them all to stand up in one surface, so it's super easy to wash them off. So a couple techniques, ways to do that, depending on the height of the bunch and how you're doing your wash and pack once you get inside. Keeping track of the number of bunches and the size of bunches is always really hard. So if you're keeping track in your bin, you can always just use your pouch to hold your rubber bands. Otherwise, you want to count them out and keep them on your hand like this. I know one farm which actually takes 25 rubber bands and actually counts them out during the winter time and puts a rubber band around them. So they always just, when they know they need to go out and do 100 bunches of beets, they just grab 4 basically groups, and then each person or something, grabs those. And when those rubber bands are done, you're done bunching beets. Another thing to keep in mind is keeping the size. So we talked about, obviously, you can put your hand around it and just whatever feels right. But another thing is to take a spring clip and the harvest manager to set a bunch right there. And so you can always keep track of the size of the bunch that is being bunched right there. And so that way you can just always look back and say, does it look about that size? Okay, we're good. And then set that in the bin. Obviously that only works if you're pulling the bin behind you, but just one thing to keep in mind as you're harvesting.